can see, there's something missing or missing from our witchin' kitchen. Where's the cauldron? I have a solution. Okay, clearly I can't just plunk this down there and call it good. I have had this little cauldron for a long time. I don't know where it came from. It was in my big doll house, which was my daughter's doll house. But that is a 1/12 scale doll house. And it sat in the kitchen there, and it looked like a spittoon. So, but here, it's perfect for what I want. But we're going to change it up a bit. First of all, we're going to get all this nasty gunk out of it. I don't know what this is. It looks like someone stuffed moss. No idea. Here. I don't know if you can see in there. It's, yeah, it's pretty nasty. So we're going to dig that out of there. I was thinking I would paint it, but I'm kind of digging the brass. And so step one, clean this thing out. It's just gross. Yeah, that was pretty gross. Lord only knows. Judging by this little flower thing. I'm gonna guess the 70s. I know it's old-ish. But yeah, here was the handle. It's just a piece of wire. Looks like a, I don't know, it's a piece of wire. But I might use it again. Cut it down a little bit. But yeah, so I am really glad I found this. I was dreading having to make my own little cauldron. And this is perfect for our witches. Nice big, you know, perfect. I got to figure out how to put something in it, you know, to make it look like there's something soupy in there. Maybe. I don't know. We'll figure that out. What we got to figure out now is get our handle back on. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to attempt to do with this cauldron. Right, here is our original cauldron, obviously. And it's hanging off the wall from a metal post. And in our house, we have the fireplaces over in this corner. So I am going to try to make a swinging arm to put this little cauldron on, and we'll show you that in the other house. Here is our rebuild, and you know, according to the old thing, the original, this would be hanging here over a fire, you know, from the wall. I'm not going to do that. what I'm going to try to do is either attach something here, or maybe I will attach it to the wall, maybe here, so that it swings and can be brought over here. I've got to leave enough room for my table, for a table somehow. I have a concept in mind. I just have to decide where I want this arm to be. We're also going to work on the fireplace. As you see, there's no fire in there. I'd really hoped I could like put some lights in there and turn them on and make it look like a real fire, but that's a little beyond my pay grade for this, so I'm probably going to skip that. I might put a hole in the back of the chimney back in here. Sorry about that. Back in here, because there is a wall there where the chimney comes down. Just in case I decide to put lights, but I don't know at this point. Right now, we're going to worry about the cauldron, and yeah, we'll see if we can figure this out. Okay, here is the current plan. As we know, my plans change. I have a paper straw that I will cut in half, okay? And this will be the hinge where a pin, not necessarily this toothpick, but this is for demonstration purposes. I'll slide this in for a hinge that will go inside the straw. And from this, which will be inside the straw, I will attach another something or other with a little beam here, paint it black so it looks like it's wrought iron. And then from here, I've got some chain somewhere that I can hook to the handle of our pot and hang it in here, and then we can make this swing. That's the plan. So let's see how we do. Okay, there has been a slight change in our plan, very slight. I'm not going to use half of a straw or a straw cut in half lengthwise. I'm going to use the whole straw because I came up with a new design for the swinging bar arm, and I'll show you that. Here's our straw. I cut it down to fit where I want it to in the fire, along the fireplace. And then this is a plastic coated paper clip that I just bent into the shape I wanted. The cauldron will hang off of here. I may have to change this little handle, but we're going to try to go for that. But anyway, so I cut this, or bent it how I wanted, and because it was so big, it wouldn't fit in the straw, or it was too small to fit properly. So I have taped and glued it to a toothpick the fancy, quote, fancy toothpick. I'm going to paint all of this black so it looks like, you know, wrought iron. I'll paint this black. And then this, I'm going to take little strips of paper, just plain old computer paper, printer paper, and make little bands around here so that that'll be what's mounting it to the wall. So let's get to painting and get this thing together and see if it actually works how I want it to. So we have our little hinge device here. I am going to trim these down so they're a little bit more even with each other, but I don't want to trim them too much more than that because I need something that's going to stick to the wall. And then here is our hook, and I have added around the top here this band so that it doesn't go too far down into the this part. And I've also put a bottom on this. I don't know if you can see it, but the bottom is solid. So that's what we're going to go for. Once everything is a little bit more dry, we will mount them to the wall and cross our fingers and hope it works. All right, here we go, people. It's glued. I am going to apologize in advance for getting my hands in the way, my head in the way, things in the way. This is going to be very fiddly, but here we go. It looks a bit of a mess through the camera, but because I'm so close up and well lit, but with my real eyes, it doesn't look too shabby. I'm going to let this dry completely before I put our swinging arm in. So far, so good. Okay, kids, here we go. The moment of truth. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. The handle is a little long and the cauldron does rest on the floor, but I think this is a little too heavy to actually make it work and swing properly. But I'm not going to change it because I think if I try to make it swing, it's going to pull that off the wall. If at some later stage in the game I'm a little bit more confident, I can always make this handle shorter, and we'll see. But right now, I'm going to leave it as it is and call that a job well done. Now, we have one more thing to do in this kitchen for this episode, and I think as the title of it is called, what is it called? Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Well, we got our cauldron. It ain't going to do a whole lot of bubbling if we don't have any fire. So that is our next little project, some fire. Okay, I've never painted fire before, at least not as detailed as this maybe will be. But I watched a tutorial on YouTube, so what could possibly go wrong, right? Anyway, so I'm starting out with some coffee grounds, and I'll show you that. What I did is I took some glue, some tacky glue, and spread it out on a piece of wax paper here. I did two different, this is a little bit less coffee grounds, and this is a little bit more coffee grounds. I'll probably end up using this bigger one. But from what I saw, you're going to start out with gray. So I'm going to paint this gray, and I used coffee grounds so that I'd have a, you know, a base that looks like embers. That's the plan. So we're going to start out with gray. There's the gray. From the gray, you are supposed to dry brush yellow, let it dry, orange, let it dry, and then red, let it dry. All dry brush, as dry as you can possibly get it. So, I guess we'll get some yellow, orange, and red paint and let it dry in between. Doesn't take very long to dry. And see what we come up with. That actually didn't turn out too bad. So I'm going to trim down the larger one because I think it will fit in there better. And we'll see what it looks like installed. Okay, this is not glued in, I just set it in. I'm thinking, I don't know. It's going to have logs on top of it. Maybe I'll trim it up a little bit more and we'll see what that looks like. All right, considering how little of that is actually going to show, I think I'm going to call that good. Now I just have to go gather some lumber, some logs, and get them painted and make ourselves a little fire. Okay, I think that'll be enough for our giant fire. Okay, first order of business when building a fire, of course, is Mod Podge. No, kindling on the bottom. And I will build my little fireplace. I will be using Mod Podge too, of course. And then we're going to try to paint it and stick it in our little fireplace and see how she looks. I am confident that it will look much better once it's dry and painted properly. So off we go. Now that we have our fire burn and our cauldron can bubble, I think I'm going to call that a wrap. I am going to put something in the cauldron, something removable. I have some ideas, but that's not going to be part of this video. So that is all for this time. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I guess you'll just have to tune in next time. And as always, I'll see you when I see you. Bye.